Hey you guys, welcome back to another Love Yourself First video. In today's video, I want to share with you my first ever anxiety attack and how I ended up overcoming that. Before we can dive right into the anxiety attack and what exactly happened, I have to give you guys a little bit of a backstory. So for the past 6 weeks, I've been attending this outpatient mental health treatment from 9 to 4, Monday through Friday. So I wasn't going to work at all, and I haven't been to work in the past month and a half. It's almost 2 months now. And yesterday was my first ever day back at work. I showed up to work like it was any other day. I started checking my email and I was doing some research on how I could end up switching from one job in the Air Force to another job in the Air Force to help kind of further me down the road of where I want to be at the end of my career. And with each answer I would find it kind of pushing it away from my goal, and I started to get overwhelmed by that feeling on top of me having to do the job I honestly don't find too much enjoyment in doing. So it felt like to me I was trying to force myself to do stuff that I didn't really want to do. And I'm not that type of person. If I find some enjoyment in it, or if I find a passion in something, then I want to be doing that all day, every day, any chance that I can get. For example, talking to you guys, like this is something that I love to do. I love to share my story. I love to share my experiences, and I love to help you guys reach your best potential. So this comes natural to me. But when I have to work at something that I no longer find enjoyment in doing, and it feels like that I try to force myself to be happy in an environment where I feel like I can't fully be happy because I'm not doing the things that I love to do. And the thoughts of everything that I could be doing to become better and progress more in my life and to find a true career field that makes me happy, to where it's no longer a job, but it's an opportunity to wake up and help other people, which is something that I dream about, I aspire to be. I'm actually taking classes to be starting next January, which I'm super excited about because that's going to be one step closer to me meeting my goal. All of these thoughts started to swarm into my mind all at once. And it started to become so overwhelming that it felt like I couldn't breathe. And that whenever I try to talk to somebody, a coworker, which I get along with all my coworkers, I love them, they are all great people. I have nothing against them whatsoever. It's just the job for me that kind of gets me down. But the people there at the job are amazing. And every time I try to speak to these great, amazing people, I would just find myself stuttering. I would find myself talking with a lisp. All these speech issues that I had as a child started to surface, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And I started to realize I might be having an anxiety attack because there felt like a big pressure on my chest. It was hard to breathe. I could barely talk. I was nervous for no reason. There was no reason to be nervous. I was just overwhelmed with being at work, a place where I didn't want to be mentally. So I responded. I decided to take leave the rest of that day, starting at 12 that day, and then also the next couple of days, which is today, tomorrow, and Friday, to kind of regroup myself, recenter my mind, and go in it with a better attitude. I'm usually a very optimistic person, so when it came to work and I started to become very pessimistic and I was talking down on work and all the things that weren't things that I believed in anymore, I would share that with other people, and that wasn't fair to them to start off because they may have other beliefs and I can't force my beliefs onto other people. That's just not right. So what am I doing now to help deal with that problem of anxiety? Now I'm trying to take and play opposite action. Originally, when I first had that anxiety attack and I drove home, I didn't feel like doing anything. So I didn't do anything. I watched TV, I played some video games, and then I went to bed. But it was hard for me to fall asleep because everything was still on my mind. And when I let everything just kind of fester on my mind, I didn't meditate like I usually do if something was bothering me. I didn't read anything. I didn't write anything down. But today, I'm taking the opportunity to talk about everything. Get everything kind of off my chest, get it out there in the atmosphere, and let everybody know that I'm human too. You know, I have my bad days. It's not how bad that day is. It's if I let that day affect the rest of my week, or if I let that moment affect the rest of my day. In this case, I did let it affect the rest of my day. However, I'm starting to take the steps needed to progress this week from that. I analyzed why I was feeling that way. I made some corrections on what I could do in the future to feel better, which is take a minute, go for a walk outside, take time to do some deep breathing exercises and meditate to become mindful in the moment, to realize that you're not in any danger. There's nothing that can happen to you. You're not going to drop dead this second by having an anxiety attack. And by doing that, it better prepares me for the next time. If I were to have another anxiety attack, I would know how to deal with it. I would know how to handle that situation. I know in my mind, the things that help me feel mindful is deep breathing. I love doing some deep breathing exercises. They help me just become centered with where I am in the moment and realize that everything is okay. And I have a lot more control of the situation and my feelings than I realize I do. And the most important thing to get over an anxiety attack, to make sure it doesn't become a panic disorder, is to move on the next day. Realize it's already happened. You can't change what has already happened. Remember that radical acceptance? We can't change things that have already happened. We can only better prepare for the future by living in our present moment. And you can do that by practicing mindfulness techniques. Mindfulness techniques that include deep breathing, our 5 senses, which is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Find 5 things that you can see, find 4 things that you can hear, find 3 things that you can touch, and 2 things that you can smell, and find 1 thing that you can taste. That will activate all 5 senses. Your brain can't have more than 1 thought at a time. So if you're doing that, trying to find those things and really become engaged in that moment, then you find something you taste and you activate those senses, it'll really center you and bring you back down where you are right now. Now let's talk about my future goals. I know I mentioned it briefly in the beginning. However, I want to dive into a little bit of detail of exactly what I want to do and how I want to continue to help you guys. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get my degree in behavioral health somewhere, probably social work, and then also get a minor in psychology, and also continue to push for my master's and maybe even a PhD or doctorate in that field. That way I can become as most knowledgeable and well-versed in that subject matter that I can, so I can better help you guys in the future. The more that I learn and the more that I grow, the better I can serve you guys in reaching your best potential, your most fullest potential. I want to take a minute to remind you guys to press that subscribe button. It really does help me out. I have a goal of reaching 100 subscribers by the end of October, and we're getting pretty close. We're 30% of the way there. That's right, we have 30 subscribers already, and I want to take a minute to thank each and every one of you that has already clicked that subscribe button, has clicked the like button, or has dropped a comment on my video. Each time that you guys watch my video and you engage in it, it helps me out greatly, and I really want to say thank you guys for everything. I love you all so much. And I want to end this video with a quote from the Motivation app. I'm going to paraphrase it a little bit, but basically it said, "You can choose to think your way to failure, or you can choose to think your way to success." Remember, it all starts with your mindset, guys. If we change those negative thoughts and turn them into a positive thought and a positive affirmation, we're going to reach positive results. Because guess what? Positive thoughts, they equal positive results. That's how we get there. That's how we continue to grow. That's how we continue to get better. And remember, I love you guys so much. Until next time. Deuces.